Joining us now to talk more about the headlines made over the weekend, Scripps News contributor Steve Schmidt, founder of The Warning. Morning, Steve. Always good to see you and start the week with some lighthearted banter about the state of American politics. All right, so I'll start with the bloodbath comment, and I don't want to spend too much time on this for a few reasons, but if you listen to the remarks, I understand people are saying it was an auto industry reference. However, I think also that in a post-1-6 country and with other violent rhetoric that Trump has used, I understand why people also instantly pounced on his use of the term as something not connected to the auto industry. How did you read it, and is it an overreaction of sorts, and does it even matter anymore what Trump says? Because if you love him, you're going to love him. If you hate him, you're going to hate him.
Well, Rob, I think that's certainly true, is that everybody looks at Trump as a Rorschach test, and there's a lot of subjectivity into it. But let me just say this. He speaks in non sequiturs, always. So the address begins with a rant about the 1-6 convicted criminals who he's promising to pardon. It veers into China, and then it veers again. And so the question really is about where is the turn in the curve regarding the non sequitur, right? Is China and bloodbath connected, or is it a separate thought? And the evidence would suggest that the guy who said to the Proud Boys, stand back and be ready, that incited an insurrection on January 6th, whose words have actually killed, is thinking always, because he said it over and over and over again about what the domestic consequences for Americans are should he be defeated by the American people. He's the first nominee of either party, certainly the first president, just refuses to accept the concept that in a democratic society, the people in their whole may look at him and say, no thanks. And that's the way the system works. So I think those comments are ominous, but they're not the first time. He said it many times. In fact, he said it hundreds of times over the last 7 years.
And obviously, he's now facing criminal charges for some of his alleged behavior during the election. But the bigger narrative right now is that it doesn't appear, or it certainly seems far less likely, that we're going to have any trial and verdict in any of the cases before Election Day for a variety of reasons. What impact do you think that has on the election and the thought that some people have that it sure would be nice for a jury of Trump's peers to make a decision either way before we all start voting a few months from now?
Well, I think that's almost certainly not going to be the case. The reality is, and the prosecutors knew this going in, the election is set. The election in this country has been set since 1797. So we know that. The reality is that these criminal cases in their totality have helped Trump. Trumpism, such as it is fueled by grievance, by victimization, and the ability to go out and to communicate that this is an attack on democracy, which Trump has done effectively, has worked. It has hardened his base. It's the equivalent of taking a wooden ship and putting armor on it. That's been the political consequence of all of this together. The reality is, and I've said this for years, there is a fantasy in this country that Donald Trump will somehow be kept from power by some process other than the decision of the American people. And it simply will not happen in any other way. And so as we come through kind of this recognition right now, I think that fact is settling in.
Your gut check right now, and there's miles to go, and Lord knows so much could happen over the next 8 months, but where are we on this March 18th in terms of who you really think wins this election and why?
The difference between February 18th and March 18th is this. On February 18th, you would have said marginally that you'd rather be the Trump campaign than the Biden campaign. On March 18th, you would rather, I think, objectively, slightly rather be the Biden campaign than the Trump campaign. This race will come down to some score of tens of thousands of votes across 3, maybe 4 states. Trump's coalition is very clear what he's trying to do. He has a hard faction of the Republican Party. His base, about 18 million people in the country, that's hardcore, about 30% of Republicans. And that number, plus soft Republicans, plus indifference, he's hoping to be enough to come out on the right side in the total of 3 races. And if you look at Trump's rhetoric, I just got to point out, you see the engines there with the Rolls-Royce, marker on it. You know, not made in America, not made in the United States. And I think that's the Trump plane. So it just gives you a sense of the demagoguery, the looseness between what comes out of his mouth and the realities of his life, the country's life, everything really.
Scripps News contributor Steve Schmidt, founder of The Warning. Thank you. As always, sir, we will see you back here next Monday morning.
Thank you, Rob.
Julie.